Welcome to the Epic Man Podcast, the show about the wildest news in entertainment and culture and everything in between. I'm Josiah, and with me, my two friends and co-hosts, because yes, Ben has made his glorious return
Ben's
to
back.
the podcast. So we have Ben and Mike with me today. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, actually. Doing good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
We had a beautiful 3 weeks. We tried so hard. I shoved him so hard into that stupid monolith, and he came back out again. He showed up.
Just popped right back out again.
I did. The reason I showed back up was because a monolith actually just popped up in my own city, and that's how I came back.
So, it's good
you can thank the aliens for that.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll stick around. That'd be cool.
Well,
that's the plan. I don't plan on getting abducted again, but I could be wrong. You guys don't even want to know what happened up there.
Don't you?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious, to be honest. I want to know.
We'll save that for another time because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do have a lot of stuff to talk about. It has been a completely jam-packed week. It's been a very, very juicy week when it comes to news and entertainment, especially. We have a lot of gaming stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to do with Disney and Marvel and everything else. So with that being said, I guess we'll just go ahead and jump into the first thing for today. So yesterday they had the whole Disney investor, what is it called? Disney investor
probably like a investor presentation.
Investor presentation. So they
I don't know.
They had that
Disney did some stuff.
And they made a lot of announcements yesterday. A lot of announcements when it came to
they did
stuff that's going to be coming to Disney Plus. A lot of Marvel news, a lot of Disney, or I guess Disney original stuff as well. Star Wars stuff, Pixar stuff. It was crazy. So
loaded.
I guess to kind of start off, I want to know what are some of the things that you guys are the most excited about when it comes to the stuff that was announced yesterday.
I'll take this first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm super pumped for the $1 price hike and the fact that Raya the Last Dragon is going to be $30 extra on top of my Disney Plus, just like they did with Mulan.
Now, Mike,
you're going to do it.
Well, I'm not paying for it.
Right.
I'm not paying.
Well,
I'm super excited for Raya, but I don't think I'll pay the premium price. I'm hoping that movie theaters around here will be open. I'll just be able to go see it in the movie theater.
No,
that's my hope.
You have to pay the $30.
I don't have to, Mike. That's the great thing about it. We have the choice.
Part of the reason I was super excited about Disney Plus because it was $7, and I was like, that's fine. It's $7. $7.
Right.
But
$8. Now we're getting a little sketchy.
But don't forget
$9 next year.
Don't forget though
the following year.
Yeah.
Even that $8 price range is still, in my opinion, is still pretty fair. I think considering like things like Netflix being like $14, the content that they've got coming out, which has the potential to be very good, I think is worth that.
Hopefully,
I think it should worth money.
What?
These people, Disney, the one of the largest corporations in the world, they're pretending.
Oh no!
and everybody knew that Mike was just spouting some nonsense, so it's okay.
Yeah. So it looks like we lost Mike for a bit there. Okay, and he's back.
I'm right here.
What were you saying?
I said, listen, I got hot takes out the butt today.
Oh boy!
Plus stuff.
Okay.
Hot takes.
So you got any of those to dish or you good?
Well, no, you guys go ahead and talk about what you like first, and then
I thought we were talking about the positive stuff first. I was like, all right, ready to talk about some things I'm excited for.
Well, to be honest, there wasn't a whole lot that got me super excited, but I will say that some of the things that I'm interested in, I guess, are some of the things like Loki. I think Loki might be one of the things I'm most interested in, just because it's such a crazy concept and everything that they're going to be doing with it. There's a lot of potential of really wild stuff that they could do with that show. So I'm very excited about that. As far as I'm definitely a lot more interested, I think, in some of their shows than their movies that are going to be coming out. And I mean, you know, there's the whole Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's going to be coming, which I'm actually very excited about. It sounds like that. I believe didn't they announce that Hayden Christensen is going to be returning?
Yep, he's going to be reprising his role as Anakin. So that's
amazing.
Darth Vader.
Rather. I love that. I love that. So much for you know, letting the past die. I guess they're going to be going right back into the past with everything.
Hey man, they're I mean, you haven't watched The Mandalorian, but if you had been watching The Mandalorian, I mean, they're not really shying from changing stuff up a little bit. So
that's good. That's good because it wasn't.
But they've,
really,
yeah, they've got people in charge of Star Wars now, for the most part, that are very, very, you know, they know what people want. They're very good at listening to fans, but also telling their own story and not feeling that they're pandering to fans, because that also can be a problem too. It's like, yeah, there's one instance where you're doing things that fans don't want, another instance where you're pandering so much to fans that it's like, okay, we don't want to see this either, because it's just like, you know.
Yeah, I think basically fans just don't want them to be crapping all over the original trilogy and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
people don't want that, and people want I think people want the spirit.
Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi, but we won't go there. That is a conversation that we're not ready to have. But I think the truth is, though, that people just want the spirit of Star Wars to be there, and they want the you know.
Is that asking for too much?
No, it's not. No, it's not at all.
You know,
I think
asking for too much for Ben to not like The Last Jedi. Apparently,
what? No,
like one of the only.
He loves it when Rian Johnson craps all over the original trilogy. Dude, he loves it so much.
Love, but in all reality, though, I think the Obi-Wan series, I'm very excited for it. I've been excited for it since they announced it originally. And Ewan McGregor was coming back and all that stuff, because I love that guy. And then Acolyte, their other series that they're coming out with, which I'm pretty sure is going to be live action, is set in the New Republic era, which is like
High Republic.
High Republic, yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Garbage.
Which I'm super excited for. Because it's in the past, so anything in the past I'm excited for instead of the future. Don't go to the future again. Give me the stuff of the past. That's the best stuff in my opinion when it comes to Star Wars. Die. Yes, let the future die. Exactly. Kill it if you have to. So I'm excited for that. The other stuff I'll watch. I'm not like opposed to it. I think that the one show about the guy from Rogue One, I'm interested in that. Yeah, I'm interested
the guy
in that.
Nobody remembers. Yeah,
I'm interested in it because I think I'm hoping it will give him backstory. But I liked Rogue One, so that
I enjoyed I guess kind of the plot for Rogue One, but I did not like most of the characters. Most of them were really bland and boring to me.
Well, they didn't have any development really.
Yeah. Especially Diego Luna's character, right.
And and that's why I'm hoping that this show gives some development, because I think he has potential to be a really cool character. So I mean, we'll see. Really, honestly, I don't know. But
ready?
Besides those things, not a whole lot there. And Star Wars stuff, I think it'll be interesting. But
I was actually pretty excited for Raya and the Last Dragon until they basically.
I'm super excited for
that you had to pay $30 for it.
Yeah,
hey,
but
you ready for this? Let's talk about Star Wars a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Okay.
Bro, what are we doing? Like, none of this makes sense. Okay, listen. Everybody wants to see the Obi-Wan series. We all knew this was coming, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Cassian Andor. What?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. At all.
And then not only that, but
that series was announced right after Rogue One came out. That's been announced for like 4 years.
Yeah, but nobody wants it.
I didn't say that anybody wanted it. I just said that it was announced, so there's really nothing we can do about that.
But there is. We could just not watch it. But also,
you don't have to watch
this High Republic thing. This High Republic thing, dude. Going back into the past, they're literally doing what they do with Star Trek constantly. They're like, you know what's a good idea? Let's go back into the past and deal with this. Like, let's go back and deal with more stuff in the past. Let's do some more stuff. Hey, you know what we should do? We should dig up more past stuff that we can deal with. And they're like, well, we can do whatever we want here because, we don't really know a lot. But what they're really saying is, let's go back far enough where we can still use nostalgia bait and still tease Darth Vader's going to show up one day and still tease the Emperor and still have Yoda, but also not have to come up with anything new or anything really that original.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Bro, it literally happened with the sequels. We watched it happen. Don't tell me it didn't happen.
The sequels are in the future.
The sequels
not the past.
Still use nostalgia bait. They still use
I don't disagree with you. But I don't think
yet
think this stuff in the past is going to do that.
No, I absolutely think the past stuff is going to do that. Nobody wants to know about the High Republic. I'm sorry.
I do.
They even went and ripped off like the artwork and stuff from.
Oh, well.
Once again, Zoom knows exactly Mike's shenanigans and everything he's going on about. So
Zoom's like you need to quiet down.
You need to calm down.
Quiet down.
I don't know.
I'm calm.
Okay.
I'm calm.
Are you calm?
I'm calm.
Are you there?
But no, you know what? I wanted to be excited about some of the stuff. Listen, I'm pumped for Ahsoka. She deserves her own show. She's always deserved her own show. Rosario Dawson looks amazing as Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then like Rangers of the New Republic. What?
That's
What?
I don't care about that, but I'll watch it probably.
What?
You probably will. You probably will.
I mean, if it's got the Star Wars like label slapped on it, I'll probably watch it because I love Star Wars.
That makes a lot of sense, Ben. Now we all know where you stand.
Well, you apparently you know where I stand because I love The Last Jedi. So, I mean, we can argue about that all day, but that's not.
There's no argument, Ben. There's no argument. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. There's
that's kind of how I feel about a lot of that's why I'm not like super excited about a lot of the stuff that they announced yesterday, is because none of it is like super original stuff. Most of it is based off of stuff that's already been established or written. A lot of it is nostalgia bait, even with a lot of the Marvel stuff as well. And I'm just kind of like, that I guess that's one of the things that I do appreciate about things like Netflix so much, is that they do release a lot of original content. And I'm more excited about original ideas and original concepts and stuff like that than I am about, all this kind of continual recycling of same franchise type of stuff. Like I enjoy it for the most part, every once in a while, but after a while it just kind of gets old and I'm like, I'm just not like, I don't get as excited about this as I do about, some of the stuff that they release like on Netflix,
And that's fair. I think when it comes to like the television though, I am excited for the television shows because I feel like there's so much more potential there than they have with movies, even to tell a better story or a more well-rounded story and to give characters development that maybe they didn't have before. So like I'm excited for Hawkeye, I'm excited for Loki. And I'm pretty excited. I'm anticipating the Vision, WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision. Yeah.
I mean, I'm anticipating that one, but I'm not like super excited, but I'm not I'm not against watching it. I do really want to see it and see where they go with it. But the television stuff has by far gotten more interest from me than the movies do at this point. Because they
announced a Lando Calrissian series, bro. Who wants to watch Lando walk around, old or young? They're out of their minds, and you're out of your mind for wanting to watch it.
Yeah,
I didn't even see that. I don't know. I didn't know that they announced that. To be
bro.
A lot of the stuff.
Announcements, if you want to know how crazy it's getting.
Yeah, I mean, I seriously do not understand them wanting to do a show about Andor and Lando. And some of that type of stuff. Like, no,
I don't. Lando, and I don't want to watch a show about the guy.
I really don't care.
It's just weird because Star Wars is a universe that has so much potential what they can do with it, and they always continue to just focus on this weird stuff that nobody really cares about.
Okay, but then that
like
brings...
you could do literally almost anything with the Star Wars universe.
Well, right.
What they decide to do,
and I think
it doesn't make any sense to me
that the announcement of the Acolyte show is probably the coolest thing that came out of yesterday. And honestly, it should be for people who don't want recycled stuff because it's supposed to be like a mystery series, like a thriller, like a mystery thriller from some lady who did the Russian Doll on Netflix, which I guess is like a mystery noir thing or something like that. Yeah.
Did you see what her other work was too?
No, I haven't looked at it, but
exactly, Ben.
Oh no, we've got a baby appearance.
She wrote plays and rom-coms. And now she's like, hey, I'm running Star Wars now. This new Star Wars thing that you got going on here, I'm running it. I know nothing about Star Wars, apparently, unless she is a huge Star Wars fan that never talks about it. But we don't know. But as of right now, and based on what we've seen with a lot of other stuff, they're just hiring people and throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm excited about that. I think that has potential to be very good. But As far as everything else goes, like the Lando series, I didn't even know about, but I don't care.
I don't know. There's a part of me that just wonders, like, remember what happened the last time Disney brought in like a fresh, hot new take on Star Wars? Somebody that was like, hey man, I got a body of work and I'm going to bring Star Wars to a new place and do something different with it. And then we got The Last Jedi. And then
but I don't think they ever claimed that with this other stuff.
But listen, they brought him in and told him he could do whatever he wanted and had complete freedom and control over what he's doing.
Yeah, well, the problem is they did that with 3 people, and that never works.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to do with that. I mean,
but
it's not necessarily just because Rian Johnson wanted to do his own thing. I think it's because
it's a mixture of things.
Kind of,
Well, I mean,
he did his own thing in a disrespectful way to the rest of the franchise.
Well, and according to Daisy Ridley, they had an outline for where they wanted to go with the next episode.
Yeah.
And Rian Johnson threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's fine. It's fine. And then right after that, they fired Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, this is my funny thing. They had this big shareholders meeting because, new Star Wars. They're giving me my own trilogy.
Sorry, go ahead. We lost.
They're like,
yeah.
They're like, hey, we liked him so much, we're giving him his own trilogy. And yet, where's his trilogy? Nothing about it. They, in fact, announced a new Star Wars movie directed by Patty Jenkins, not Rian Johnson.
Yeah, no, they're not giving Rian Johnson his own trilogy now.
No, I think he's done in the Star Wars universe. I'm gonna be honest with you. But there was so much
Marvel.
There was so much fan backlash there. And honestly, and I think, like I said, I think that they got nervous because all the fan backlash from everything, and I do think that they're going to put people who know, or at least who maybe care about the originals a little bit more. They're going to put those people in charge. I hope, at least.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's like what we've been seeing with The Mandalorian, and honestly, if we can see more things on the caliber of that show, then I'd be happy regardless of what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to agree with that. I don't think I'm going to be happy with regardless of what it is and stuff. Like I said, there's still, like, some of these shows I just don't have any, like, there's so many better things I could do with my time than watch a show about Lando, Like,
well, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you there. But that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
I can watch than a show about Lando Calrissian. I just don't care at all. Like, I would rather watch The Mandalorian than watch Lando, and I haven't even watched The Mandalorian yet. So
right. Well, and the Mandalorian is in some ways an original story. So that's different. I mean, and Lando though is following a character that we do already know. He's the main character, and I don't necessarily want that. Yeah. So it's like the Ahsoka series. I'm okay with, but
unless, and this is my caveat, if they have a lot of robot sex in it, then I might check it out. I might actually.
Oh, all right. So we got your caveat right there.
Lando, he's into those robots, man.
He is really into the robots.
He is
weird.
So,
but also getting back to Marvel, I'm kind of excited for the Loki series. It looked okay. I was.
Yep. We lost Mike again. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I am very excited about the Loki series and stuff as well.
And I think Loki has the potential to be good, but it's the same thing with Star Wars. We're still going back to the characters. We're still doing these things, and at the end of the day, I want things that give baby characters we already have. If you're gonna do a story about those characters, give them more development than they have. Tell an interesting story, and you'll most likely have my attention. Yeah. Unless it's a character I don't care about, and like with the Cassian Andor series and with Lando. Okay, it's there,
I mean, you like Disney has the Marvel universe, and they have the Star Wars universe, like some of the biggest, most diverse franchise universes of all time.
Oh yeah,
and they still just kind of put out the same factory made recycled stuff over and over again, and it's a problem that Disney has, in my opinion.
To be fair though, the only example we have of that is the sequel trilogy. There's not been much else except for maybe Star Wars Resistance, which was just not a very good show, but it wasn't the same thing as the sequel trilogy in that way. So the only example we have is that. So I think that like the other example we have is
announcements of
but we don't have those things yet. We haven't seen them, so it's I really do like to see the work before anything else happens. But with like I said, with the
Ben, you give your opinions about stuff that isn't out all the time.
No, I don't. Not the same as
yes,
that.
you do.
Oof. Oof.
You always give your opinions about stuff. You like Dune. You talk about Dune all the time. Oh, I'm so excited for Dune. You haven't watched it yet. You don't know.
That's excitement. I'm excited for it.
Oh, so it's okay to be
excited
about stuff, but to be critical about stuff that hasn't come out yet is a problem.
Ooh.
Not necessarily.
Josiah coming in with the hot hands.
No, I'm just saying.
They're both opinions on the same side of the
because Disney and their treatment of Star Wars is so controversial.
You're just
and because there's
been Star Wars shill.
And because there's been so much backlash, I think that I'm hoping at least that Disney has heard that backlash. I think one of their examples of that is The Mandalorian, and they'll continue to produce quality content. That's my hope. That they'll get people behind it, that will create quality content that fans will enjoy. But the only thing we've truly seen from Disney, besides Clone Wars Season 7, which is excellent, and Star Wars Rebels, also excellent, was the new trilogy. So that's the only thing we've seen. Well, we don't talk about that here.
But we just did talk about it here.
But we don't.
Also,
we don't talk about
Rebels
it.
had some.
Rebels was excellent.
I mean, that's what I hear. People like Rebels a lot, so
they do, and a lot of people forget that was under the Disney era. It was granted, it was made by Dave Filoni, and everybody trusts Dave Filoni with his Star Wars, but it was still made under Disney's rule of Star Wars. So
yeah.
Also, I mean, like Dave Filoni did, Clone Wars.
Right, he did, and he also did the season 7 under Disney. And he also did Rebels under Disney. Which
is okay. The last 4 episodes of that season are incredible. It's some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
They are.
The first beginning episodes, I was like, meh. And then they were like, well, that's definitely a spin-off episode. And then they did like the episodes in between with Ahsoka and her buddies. And I was like, this is like the worst Star Wars I've ever seen.
I enjoyed season 7. I didn't think it was the best season. I thought the last 4 episodes were the best. But
the last 4 episodes are incredible. But those middle 4 episodes, hot garbage.
I wouldn't say that. That's much better than a lot of television you're going to watch.
Just like television in general, because there's a lot of really good television out there.
Maybe not some of the Netflix originals like Dragon Prince. So good.
Yes, Dragon Prince is amazing. Good. I'm trying to get Mike to watch it, but
why haven't you? I mean, that's not Disney, so it's technically not the subject. But why haven't you watched Dragon Prince, Mike? It's so good.
I'm not going to explain my life to you. You haven't been around for. You haven't been around for nearly a month. You can't come back in my house and start yelling at me about what I'm doing and not doing.
You've
been
never
stuck in
said
a monolith for 3 weeks, Ben.
I'm sorry the aliens had me for so long.
The world has spun in a different direction now.
That's fair.
Things are different now, Ben.
I guess.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
At the end of the day, there's some things that I'm excited for. There's some things that it sounds like all 3 of us don't really care about. And only time will tell what happens. But
time will tell, Ben. That's
time will tell, and Disney Plus will be $1 more expensive next year.
Yep, that is a thing. And on top of that, I guess to kind of go with that, I want to ask you guys. So, are you going to pay for the $30 price to buy Raya, to watch Raya?
No.
Is that going to be a thing?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Is it even to buy it, or is it just to like rent it? I think it's just to rent it, right?
No,
it's just to rent.
No, it shouldn't be.
Unlock early access.
Yeah, because it was
you don't own it.
It was like with Mulan. You basically unlock early access, and then they eventually released it for everybody on Disney Plus, so you could see it regardless.
But you still have to have Disney Plus to keep watching it.
Yeah. Right. So like, say
technically you're paying like $38.
Technically, it's like a long-term rental, because say if you like stopped your Disney Plus service, then that $30 you would have just been like, oh, okay, buy $30.
Mike, are you gonna pay $30 to watch it? Mike is not here right now. Ben, are you going to pay $30?
No, I'm like I said, I'm hoping it comes out in March. Is it March?
I think so.
I'm hoping that around here we'll have some movie theaters open again.
I ain't spending money, $30 on that. That's more expensive than a Blu-ray. I can just buy it on Blu-ray.
I'm hoping the movie theaters are open. So if that's the case, then I'll just go see it there. If not, I hope so. If not, I can just wait until it is.
About this, it feels like Disney. They announced literally 20 plus shows to come out in the next what they said was few years.
Yeah.
20 shows, all from like the same IPs. Like at least Netflix smart enough to diversify their portfolio. And they have a lot of different stuff, a lot of different people. And Disney's like, we're gonna run Marvel and we're gonna run Star Wars into the ground. We're gonna be so.
Mike is throwing off the whole flow. Yeah. But I was gonna say, well, we didn't have, we don't have to talk about it long at all. But the one thing we didn't highlight was that there is that Alien series coming out next year as well, which I'm actually pretty excited for. So that's something that is not Disney and Marvel that are not Marvel and Star Wars that is potentially worth being excited about. So.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if there's too much information on it.
If we end up with Disney-fied Alien, I'm not going to be happy at all. So I don't need Disney-fied Alien in my life. But yeah, I mean, I hope that with the Raya thing, because when they tried to do that with Milan, where they tried to get people to pay $30 to watch it, it didn't really go over very well for them. so
Milan was hot garbage.
Yeah, it was a complete flop. So hopefully,
it was terrible.
I hope that the same thing happens with Raya, and it'll sink into Disney's heads. Hey, maybe we should just release these movies on our platforms as part of the overall, $80 a year that they're spending on our subscription or whatever. And I think that overall, I mean, because basically, I mean, that's about how much you pay per year to go watch movies in the theaters for Disney, I'd say.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you're watching like 6 movies a year from Disney, it's about the same price. So why not just release it as just part of the overall yearly subscription? And
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing with Soul. So like the new Pixar movies coming out is just getting released.
Yeah. And I believe HBO Max is doing that as well. They're releasing everything for free.
Yep.
That's part of the subscription. So
like we talked about last week, obviously there's some issues with that. But the thing is, like right now, HBO Max just offered me like, 7 or 8 quality movies, or varying quality movies, but 7 movies for free. And Disney just threw at me that they're gonna have at least 20 plus shows on their streaming platform, and none of them were so exciting for me that I was like, man, I am so glad I have Disney Plus. I was like, okay, I'll check it out, and I hope it's good.
I will say this: if HBO Max starts announcing that they're going to make some like actually original type of content for their platform, I will be so hyped. I will be so hyped. Nothing to do with any of the franchises, nothing to do with DC or anything like that. If they just say, hey, we're actually making some original content that we're putting out there, I will absolutely just be totally over the moon about that.
Sorry. I was.
Yeah, go ahead. Mike
HBO Max, I don't even pay for. I mean, I technically do. I don't, because it's through my phone service. So thankfully, I have that for free. So I'm excited about everything that's coming out with that. But it's I think original content wise, I think I'd be interested too if they started releasing some original content. I think it'd be fun. But I don't want to see more Game of Thrones series, and I don't want to see all that other stuff. Like Game of Thrones disappointed me so much that I just.
Now you're disappointed by Game of Thrones? When did this happen?
The more I
just want to point out
about it.
Ben had one bad season of a show and was like, I don't want to watch any more of this. And we had 2 bad movies in Star Wars, and he's like, guys, we don't know what's coming. Give it a chance.
Okay. I didn't say I wouldn't watch the Game of Thrones show. I just said I'm not interested in it.
Shouldn't you wait and find out, Ben, before you make this?
I'll still watch it.
Way to judge this thing before it comes out. Way to be super critical about a thing that you haven't seen anything about.
I am far more attached to Star Wars, so I think that's probably where that comes in. Not gonna lie, but I do care a lot more about Star Wars than I do about Game of Thrones. A lot more. That Star Wars was my childhood, so that's of course that's gonna come first, and I'll be more excited about it regardless. But HBO releasing originals, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I'd be down. Raised by Wolves, I think technically is. I don't think it's like an HBO Max original, but it's like an original series that's on the platform.
I'm trying to. I think
it's like a science fiction series. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I really want to watch it.
It looks interesting. It looks really interesting. So
I've got it in my watch list on there, but I haven't actually booted it up to watch it yet. So
gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Mike just keeps going from one area to another.
Mike is on the
just riding the struggle bus
today.
Just riding the struggle bus this episode. But I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. It just kind of feels like Disney's just throwing as much as they can at their fan base to be like, don't get rid of Disney Plus because look at all this stuff we have coming. But I'm like,
Right.
It's nice when you have a pacing and things to look forward to. It's another thing when it's like a breakneck, like you just got thrown all of this stuff in your face at one time. Like I had like 6 trailers yesterday I had to watch.
I'm gonna be honest.
Like that. But Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and then what was the other show that they just announced on Disney Plus for Marvel?
Let's see. They
They
got
announced She-Hulk. They announced Moon Knight. Hawkeye.
What If is another one.
What If?
Yeah, What If.
Yeah, and What If. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm like, okay, cool. And then they also had, some sizzle reel stuff for like Andor, but I don't know. It's just like I like Disney. I mean, they've done good, but we also know that like right now they're just trying to make as much money as they possibly can. And we just watched them abandon an entire franchise. They abandoned Star Wars, literally canceled everything because of a bad movie. And then they were like, okay, well, we're going to restructure and figure things out. And then literally just copied. What I'm worried is they're going to copy the structure of The Mandalorian and go like, oh, see, this is the new Star Wars. This is what works.
Yeah.
And it's going to make The Mandalorian not work as well. I mean, Mandalorian like isn't the greatest TV show on television. It's not one of the best shows I've ever watched. It's good.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. So
I mean, I think it's a very good show. And they've especially I think in season 2 they've upped their quality, which is all I can hope for in a second season, as opposed to being worse. And I think they've upped their quality, and it's continued to go that way, and that's all I can hope for. It's like the Clone Wars. I think the Clone Wars is another one of those shows that just kept getting better and better as it went on. So
yeah,
as long as if the quality keeps going up, then hey, let's go. Let's go, man.
Honestly, like when does Loki come out?
I think that's like summer.
Maybe?
Something.
Well, WandaVision comes out in January, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch that, and if I'm not like really impressed by any of the stuff that they start releasing this next year, I'm probably just gonna cancel my Disney Plus subscription, to be honest.
And Captain America and the Winter Soldier is coming out in March, I believe. So I believe you have WandaVision, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Loki. I think those are like the 3 things that are kind of taking up that 2021.
Yeah. And I believe that didn't Disney announce yesterday as well that they're going to release their movies in theaters and on the platform at the same time?
I don't think they did. I think that was one of the things that people were waiting for them to announce, and they didn't. But I'm
pretty sure they did, actually.
Did they?
They announced what?
Yeah, Mike, you probably would know this. Didn't they announce just that they're going to be releasing their movies in theaters and on the platforms at the same time?
That's what I heard, was that they were going to be doing that at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Because that's what the thing is right now. Like, it's all about Disney Plus, because they're trying to compete now with HBO Max. And like, this is the thing too. Like this thing shows what like happens, this shareholders or whatever announcement, and all of this comes on like the cusp of HBO announcement.
HBO, good old HBO. Let me tell you, great stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess we'll see what happens. But, I'm interested to continue to watch and see how, especially some of these other things continue to. I mean, it's going to be very interesting because all these different platforms are going to be competing over the next few years, and it's going to be interesting to see how it fluctuates and all of that stuff. So,
you know what, that makes me think about is how games are going to fluctuate now, which leads me to want to talk about the Game Awards, because that's also another huge thing that happened yesterday. Yeah. Right? Was that yesterday?
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. So the Game Awards.
The Game Awards, the most hotly controversial thing in gaming history in the last,
rightfully so,
5-10 years, probably.
Rightfully so, because
I got a lot of hot takes here.
You know what wasn't a controversial thing last year, Ben? The Game Award.
Yeah, was it not? What won last year?
What one game?
I'm trying to remember.
See, I don't even remember. At least this year will be memorable. That's the
yeah,
thing. You know,
yeah.
last year was forgettable. See, we don't even remember what it was last year.
Game of the year 2019. Let's see what it was. It was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Exactly. We see. Look, nobody knows about that game. Nobody cares.
I wonder it wasn't like
it was rigged, right? Apparently, it's all rigged. So
well, actually, I mean, you know, we've had some of those kinds of shady situations where like Horizon Zero Dawn didn't win.
Should have won.
It should have won. Yeah,
should
like
have won. But
what were the 2019 nominees for Game of the Year? Game of the Year
2019. No, that was last year. What was the year?
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice won.
Yeah.
Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds.
Oof,
I can see
it was
why
a rough
Sekiro
year.
won that.
It was a rough year last year. Oh
I think Super Smash Bros. Ultimate should have won, but that's regardless.
Don't say that.
I will say that, Mike, because I think it's true. But 2016
you're
was that the year Horizon Zero Dawn came out?
2017, I think, or 2018.
Was it 17? No, it wasn't that soon. It was.
Yeah.
It was 17 because that's when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild won. But
and then 2018 God of War won. I mean, and everybody knows why that game won.
I think that the only other game that could have beat Horizon was Legend of Zelda, and that's because it was actually a very good game. But I would have wanted Horizon to win, but I'm not mad about Legend of Zelda winning that year because it was at least it was a very good game. It wasn't like something.
And everybody
like,
played the crap out of it, and it was like
everybody really enjoyed it too. So and then 2016 was Overwatch, totally understandable. I you know how much I love that game. I think it was excellent and it brought a lot of fun to the like team-based shooter genre.
Ben.
So,
but Ben,
what Mike?
How did the last?
Oh man.
Oh Mike.
So,
how did
there we go.
The Last of Us Part 2 beat the Ghost of Tsushima? Please explain that to me. How is that a better game, Ben?
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you here, Mike. I can't give a completely valid opinion on the Ghost of Tsushima because I have not beat the story. So I can't. All right, I'm being honest with you right now. I'm saying that I can't.
And I didn't play the game either, and I still liked it more than The Last of Us 2.
Okay, all right. Well, then your opinion doesn't even matter.
Nope, that's not how that works.
It is.
That's not how that works.
It is when it comes to video games.
You haven't beat the game, so you. I can talk about it. I can talk about it all I want. Listen, my thing is this. A game that was super controversial that, you know what? Game design wise, everybody said it was okay. They're like, it's kind of the same as the first one. What did they say about Sekiro or Tsushima? They were like, wow, the gameplay is super dramatic, dynamic. It's one of the best games that's ever come out on the PS4. It's probably one of the best games of this console generation. Nobody said that about Last of Us 2.
I didn't see that about Ghost of Tsushima anywhere. I didn't
I
see
mean,
that.
I've seen pretty much nothing but universal love for
I don't disagree with that. I have seen a universal enjoyment and love of the game, but I haven't seen like a bunch of these things like saying it's the most mind-blowing game that's come to PlayStation 4. Oh, it's groundbreaking. I think Horizon Zero Dawn was another game that could have been given those same things, but I haven't seen that necessarily for Ghost of Tsushima. And what I've played of it, I really like. I don't dislike that game at all. I love what I've played of it, but I haven't beat it, so I can't sit here and tell you that it is a better game because I loved The Last of Us Part 2. And I can't sit here and say that it's a better game and I like it more because I haven't beat it. I would have to beat it before I could say that. So I guess like
I'm full stop for a second. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ben. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
How are you gonna say that you love The Last of Us Part 2?
Because it was good. It was very good.
According to who?
According to me.
Oh, okay. Not everybody else that played the game that were like, wow.
Okay, regardless of what anybody else said that played the game, I liked it. So
this is interesting. On GameSpot's YouTube channel, for the Game of the Year announcement for The Last of Us, it has 3,000 likes and almost 8,000 dislikes.
And it's, I mean, this is probably controversial.
Hold on,
this is probably controversial.
That's GameSpot, right? Speaking of GameSpot, just to mention something about GameSpot,
they released a horrible review of Cyberpunk 2077.
The girl didn't beat the game.
Yeah,
she literally said it was too big of a game. She was like,
"That's terrible."
I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of the clothing stuff, and I didn't do any of the crafting stuff. And then people were like coming to me in the street and they're like, oh my gosh, help us with this thing. And she's like, no, I don't want to.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
it's
fake
too
gamer
big.
to me.
We don't talk about GameSpot here because that was just
Well,
a disaster.
They loved Last of Us 2.
They did.
So obviously,
to be
there must be
fair,
something there.
pretty much everybody, at least critical wise, had a positive review for it. So it was everyone.
Critics yes.
did.
Yeah.
But
Across the
I
board.
thought
But
the
I'm not-
awards for Game of the Year supposed
and that's
to be
what I'm trying to
voted
get to.
by the fans?
That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm not saying that the critics' choice matters because it's the same with movies. Critical opinions don't necessarily matter. It's what everybody else thinks of the movie or the game or whatever. I think that The Last of Us Part 2 should have won. But I can't see the same for everybody else. So I'm happy it won, but I'm sure there's tons of people out there that aren't happy that it won.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple as that. But I also never said I don't know how any of that stuff works. I'm not smart.
You make me want to throw up on myself.
Mike, I don't. You haven't played either of the games, right?
I don't need to play the games, Ben, to have an opinion on the games. That is not how that works.
But you should play the games if you want to. If you really want to have a 100% like, hey, this is how I feel about the game. You probably should play it. But you can't honestly because they're both PlayStation 4 exclusives. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Mike can't even play the games.
But in the same way, I mean, it does kind of remind me about like the Oscars in some ways.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even though it might even be a little bit worse with the Game Awards because at least with the Oscars, it's still like a bunch of stuffy old people deciding who they give the
that's true
award to, and Game of the Year and all that stuff is supposed to be by the fans and all that.
Right.
And I just have a really hard time believing that The Last of Us sweep as many rewards
and
awards.
And
I
don't
allowed to have an opinion of things because I don't have a PlayStation. So
I don't. Well, I mean,
I'm not allowed to have an
How
opinion
many
because I don't have a
awards did
PlayStation.
The Last of Us 2 win? They won 1, 2, 3,
7,
4,
7,
5.
and like I said,
7.
this I don't know if
Wow.
I don't know how it all works. Whether it's people voting or if it's someone in a dark room deciding the winner. I don't know how it all works. I don't know what they do. I don't know how any of that stuff works. But at the same point, the negative fan base is always going to be louder than the positive fan base. And that's always how it has been. It's always how it will be. The negative opinions will always get a little bit higher traction than positive will. So I honestly don't know how many people genuinely love The Last of Us Part 2 because all I've seen are people being negative. So I have no idea. I've seen occasional people that were positive that had pretty vocal opinions about it, but a lot of people who love that game don't want to come out and say they love the game because they're just going to get a bunch of crap for it. So, and I mean, I've gotten a bunch of crap for it. Works? Yes, it is because I've gotten a bunch of crap for saying that I love that game.
But yet that game won Game of the Year, Ben.
Yeah, so maybe there is a large fan base that loves that game.
Is that what it is?
I'm just saying maybe
because I mean, like,
so.
sales. Do you see the sales drop off on that game?
I don't. Like I said, I don't know though how any of that stuff works. So I can't say whether it was people who voted on it or is like the Oscars where a select few were like, oh, this is the game of the year and we're gonna give that award to it. So I don't know. I can't say that I know that because I just don't.
That game beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Spider-Man Miles Morales,
Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
and Ghost of Tsushima.
Why were those
games
nominated?
For best action adventure game, Ben.
Those games should have never been nominated because they came out at the end of the year.
Game. But it was the game won best action adventure game, Ben.
Okay.
It's a stealth game.
Has action in it. No, what? That game's not inherently a stealth game. It's a player's choice game. You can go in stealth or you can go in guns blazing.
Yeah.
But Ghost of Tsushima is also technically a stealth game if you want to use that logic.
No.
It is. It is.
It won best action adventure game and best game of the year.
This is something interesting.
Yeah.
This is from the Game Awards YouTube channel itself, okay?
Here we go, Ben.
The Last of Us Part 2 clip where they show that The Last of Us won Game of the Year, Last of Us 2. It has, let me pull it up here. It has 4,000 likes and 7,000 dislikes. Okay. That's on the Game Awards YouTube channel itself.
Okay.
Like, that should say something. When you have that many people that are overwhelmingly, almost by 3 times, disliking the fact that The Last of Us
Ben,
Part
how
2
are you just
won.
gonna say okay like that? Like all smug like that?
I just said
That's
How
on
you
the
just
game
gonna
of the
sit there
that's
and
on
be
the
like-
Game Awards YouTube channel itself.
right, and I'm not saying that there aren't people that just don't like the game. But
It's
also,
just-
I mean,
it's just really sus to
how many of
believe
those
that it's
people have actually
sweet.
played the game too? Is really another thing to ask. But I mean,
Well,
apparently
half
that
of those
doesn't
critics
matter.
Apparently, don't play the games.
Apparently that doesn't matter.
Half the critics don't play the games, Ben.
Apparently
you
they
can't
don't.
criticize the
That's
game that you
true.
don't
That's
play.
true. There's a
then
lot
half
of
those
critics
critics
that
shouldn't
don't
be
play
able
the
to do
games
that.
as well.
That's
actually
true.
No,
And honestly, if they're
IGN, GameStop, and
how do you know IGN doesn't play the game? It's different people every time.
But they literally released reviews for a game that had come out that they had 2 days early access to. A game that probably has over 100 hours of gameplay, probably a 60-hour campaign.
Which game?
Cyberpunk, Ben. They literally released reviews
Okay.
for Cyberpunk, a game that has
Cyberpunk-
way more time that they can review in 2 days.
Cyberpunk had more than 2 days of early access on PC.
How many days of early
some
access did it
some
have?
people got early access to it the day before or 2 days before, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them were 3 or 4 days before, maybe 5. And that game's story apparently only takes 20 to 25 hours to beat.
Well,
So-
apparently, according to the guy that played at GameStop, he was 45 hours into it, and he still had a ton of stuff to do, Ben.
And that's if you're choosing on how that depends on how you want to play the game. But if you shoot the story,
If I speed through the story and just
Yep.
say, cool, the game is this, did I
Yep.
really get a full experience of a game that literally is designed around side quests?
Not necessarily, but you are getting you're getting an idea of how the game runs, how it performs, and the story that it's telling. So I mean,
these are
you're
some
getting
of
the gist of it.
These are some of the top comments on the video from the Game Awards channel.
Oh, we're talking
about
about
The Last of Us Part 2 winning.
Okay.
Joke of the year is the top comment right now. Let's see. I'm kind of confused by this. I'm not surprised this whole thing was rated by journalists. Ghost of Tsushima should have won more awards.
Wait, which
Those are some of the
video is
top
this?
comments. That's on the Game Awards YouTube channel itself.
Which video is it though?
It's the one where they literally announced that The Last of Us Part 2 won.
One of these comments though is on this video. I wonder who won. Sees the like to dislike ratio. It's The Last of Us. And
I don't
I feel
know.
like a war brewing in the replies.
I just have a hard time believing that the fans chose The Last of Us as the winner. I just have a hard time believing that.
I'm not saying that's not fair. That is a completely valid.
I would
criticism.
actually be less pissed if I knew that it was a bunch of stuffy, cringy journalists that were choosing the awards than them saying,
Well, because then
"Oh,
you
the
know
fans won,"
Then
or
you
the
would know
fans
it, right,
decide and
right.
stuff.
Then
Like,
you would know for sure, and it wouldn't
Yeah,
feel shady, right? Because at
exactly.
least you know. I mean, and I don't think that's invalid at all. I mean, I genuinely understand why you would be sus of this game winning when you've seen so much negativity coming from it. That
Mhm.
makes sense. I think that it should have won, but that's just my opinion. That literally
Well,
doesn't matter.
you got weird opinions, man. You
I
got weird
do,
opinions.
I do. But that's the
And the
great
fact
thing
that you
about
you didn't finish Ghost of Tsushima is kind of
I
kinda-
hadn't beat
you
it.
own the game, dude.
I do, and I the problem was I got that, and then I got Final Fantasy VII Remake at the same time, or around the same time, and I never got around to beating it. So that I need to though, but now I'm stuck on Cyberpunk. So
Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games where when you get to the end, you just sit there and just watch the credits, and you're just kind of like hit with
yeah, and that's the best. And in my opinion,
it
that's the
was
best
so
kind of
good.
game.
It
And
was
I'm
so
not gonna
freaking
lie, that's how I was at the end of The Last of Us Part 2. But I do want to finish Ghost of Tsushima because where I am right now, I really like it. I really like it a lot. I especially like the dynamic of the storytelling there between kind of this like weird or this like dynamic between being a samurai and being a shadow, and like what that means to your past, to your legacy, to your right, to everything. And it is very cool.
Yeah.
But I like where the story is going. I just haven't beat it. So, but what I
got
have
some
played,
other
I really
stuff.
like. So
Hey, I got some other stuff I wanted to mention too.
Oh boy, all right.
Just to keep backing up Ben on this whole Disney thing. They
Yeah.
announced a Big Hero 6 sequel
finally, it's about freaking time.
for Disney Plus. It's a Baymax TV show.
Of course, Ben would be excited about that.
Wait a minute, it gets better. You know what they announced? They announced a prequel for Toy Story about Buzz
Oh my
Lightyear.
gosh, I heard
No,
about that.
I don't care about that.
Did you see who they got to voice Buzz Lightyear?
If it's not
Chris
Tim
Evans.
Allen or what,
Chris
what-
Evans.
Chris Evans.
They got
Really?
freaking Chris Evans to voice Buzz Lightyear.
Wow. Not gonna lie, that's
No, Ben. Don't even say those
Cars
Do not.
and Up are getting TV series, Ben.
I don't care about that, Mike. I don't
I know
care
you
about
don't,
that.
Ben, but that's what we're talking about. You don't
No,
care
Mike, the
about it,
last
Ben.
I heard, we were talking about The Last of Us Part 2 in the Game Awards.
We're talking
Yeah.
about all of this, Ben. All of it is all connected, Ben. This is the point. We're looking at a situation
That's right. Disney
where
is in
studios
charge
now.
of The Last of Us Part
Listen,
2.
We're looking at The Last of Us Part 2. It was obviously a very controversial game.
Right.
People had mixed opinions about it, and yet it sweeps the board with from a game like Ghost of Tsushima, who everybody had nothing but good things to say about it.
Mike.
It's no different to me than when Captain Marvel came out and critics were like, "It's the most amazing film that's ever touched Marvel's hands," and giving it all these big sloppy kisses on the mouth, and then when Alita Battle Angel comes out and like fans are like generally like super happy with it, all the critics smashed it and said it was terrible. It was one of the worst movies of that year.
About 50% of the critics smashed it, but there were quite a few that actually enjoyed it.
50% is a lot, Ben, because if it's
That's
50%
half.
of the fans that didn't like it, that's
Right.
a lot.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but-
a lot for
but-
critics too. So
Yeah.
And then we also saw a situation where, I don't know, when people were reviewing Captain Marvel negatively, their reviews were getting removed.
I don't care about Captain Marvel, Mike.
I just want to point out something, Ben.
And
We are seeing a thing
I'm-
where studios that are trying to push an idea or push a narrative that are trying to get a certain thing to happen are removing people's voices
But-
and refusing to listen to the critiques that are being given of their products.
And I never said that it wasn't sus.
Didn't you though?
No, I didn't. I
Didn't
said I
you?
love the game and I
Didn't
think it
you
should have
though?
won. I never said it was sus.
But it did win, Ben, so you
It
got
did
your
win.
way.
I did. I'm happy.
Ben,
Way to go.
Good.
Of course,
I'm
Ben
so
is
glad you're happy.
I'm happy.
You know who's not
Hey.
happy? You know who's not happy?
A lot of
other
apparently
fans.
thousands of people. Yes, apparently thousands of people aren't happy, but guess what? That's the way of life. Some people, sometimes you're just not happy, Mike. How about
I'm
anything?
always happy, Ben. When you're not
That
here.
wasn't true before this podcast started.
I never have
so
trouble with my internet when you're here, when you're not here.
Never.
We
But-
talk about great things, we have good time, and then we don't have some guys screaming at us that Disney is the greatest thing since sliced bread,
I didn't
telling us
say
that
that.
Star Wars has never had a problem in the history of Star Wars, that Disney has handled Star Wars better than George Lucas has handled it.
What?
We've never heard any of these weird hot takes.
Who is this
we
guy?
don't hear about how The Last of Us 2 is one of the greatest games of all time, Ben, when you're not here.
I mean, I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't say that, but now that you mention it, I probably should say it. You know,
I just want you to say it so that everybody knows where you stand, Ben.
The Last Jedi
You're wrong.
is top
You're wrong.
15 Star Wars.
You're wrong,
You
Ben.
can't even argue that because I don't even know if there's 15 movies, Mike.
You didn't say movies. You said top 15 Star Wars. I could count every episode
Movies.
of the Clone Wars. It's definitely not.
Top 15
Okay.
movies.
Okay. All right. So yeah. I guess the elitist mentality that a lot of these award shows has kind of annoys me a little bit, and I just don't trust them. Them. But
I think
that
that's fair.
being said, we're kind of running out of time here, and we still have one more thing to kind of touch on a little bit here. Is some of the announcements that they had for the Game Awards yesterday,
Yes.
which are a little bit more, I guess, non-controversial than the awards were.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so for some of the announcements, we had a bunch of games that were announced and stuff. I don't know why Mike is, showing his penis size right now, but
Good burn.
but so what are some of the games that you saw as far as trailers go
Throwing out a shower.
that you are excited about, especially the PlayStation ones? Let me tell you what, there's some pretty spicy play.
Mike, I don't know. Are there any games you're excited for that are coming out?
Mass Effect 4. It got announced. It's official. Super pumped.
You've actually played Mass Effect, unlike Josiah, because I am also very
I've-
excited for Mass Effect 4.
Yeah, I've
Very,
played the
very
3
excited.
Mass Effect main games. I have not played Andromeda. I had no interest.
Andromeda was sketch. It was not a good Mass Effect game by any
I'm
means.
actually surprised that Ben didn't just say that Andromeda was like the best.
No, it
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
It suffered from a lot of bugs and a lot of weak storytelling, and I wasn't a fan. But
I can't.
it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, Mass Effect 4, official Mass Effect 4.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
excited.
I have to play the other ones before I get excited for that, I guess.
It's a
Which
great
I
game
do
series.
want to. I do want
Great
to.
game series.
So we'll see if I can get around to it sometime. You're always backlogged with games, so it's.
Oh yeah, it's true. I think highlights for me were Mass Effect, Dragon Age 4. I've been waiting for that for a while. And Arc 2 for me, because like how much I love Arc. So that, and then everything else was, there was bits and pieces of games we'd already seen announced, which was cool. But of the new games coming out, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Arc.
Dragon Age 4, I'm super pumped for. I love Dragon
so
Age
excited.
series.
Dragon Age, the Dragon Age series is excellent. So
I'm actually pretty excited for the new Warzone map that's finally dropping.
I also am excited for that, dude. I'm
a little sick of Verdansk.
Yeah, and I'm just excited for something new and like all the new weapons and the different changes there. But a lot of that will be coming out next week, so hopefully we can talk about it more in depth next week when we have kind of impressions.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week for sure.
So
absolutely. But there were some big announcements.
I'd say that Dragon Age 4 Arc 2. The thing about Arc is that like I like the game a lot, but there's a lot of potential of things that they could improve on, and I'm hoping that for Arc 2 that's going to be the case. So I'm excited about that, and maybe get a little bit more like some more narrative type of stuff and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. And let's see, I'm actually not that excited about this one PlayStation exclusive game that they keep on releasing trailers for and stuff.
Which one?
I think it's called oh man, I'm trying to find it now. Unreturned or something like that.
Was that a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer. The only trailer I watched was the one from what was E3, I think.
Yeah.
And it looked all right.
I don't know. I'm just not like super excited about it yet or anything. I feel like it's kind of like a little bit like on the level of like Death Stranding to me a little bit, which I never actually played either. So
neither. I still want to play that game.
So I'm actually interested. So far I'm not like I don't think that's going to be like an amazing game, but maybe we'll be surprised. Is the medieval multiplayer game Hood Outlaws and Legends?
Might be cool.
I'm interested to see what that's going to be about.
Yeah.
So it looks like it could be kind of fun to play with friends and
especially stuff. if it's like an upgraded version of like For Honor.
Yes, if they do that, that'd be really sick. That'd be. But
really cool. I don't know, that'd be cool.
It looks like it's a little bit more like stealth based, and there's like co-op mode and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully, it'll be cross-play so that we can all try it out and stuff.
Another one that I'm anticipating was it's like a spiritual successor to Dead Space.
Yeah,
it looks very interesting. I really like Dead Space. So if it's anything like Dead Space, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
also,
go ahead, Mike.
Just as a little side, this is not an announcement from the Video Game Awards, but Destiny 2 is coming crossplay in 2021.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's free now, so I might actually have to get it.
Yeah, I actually own Destiny 2, so
really.
It
was if you have Game Pass, you can have access to all the DLC and everything for free.
Yeah, Destiny 2 was one of the free games for PlayStation Plus one time, so I was able to get it then.
I'm pumped just to play with other people and see the fan base like grow significantly because a lot of PlayStation users play Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny came a long way and was really good, and I've heard the same thing about Destiny 2. So I'm hoping that
it's not as good as the first one, but it's okay. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to play with friends, though, I think.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. But looking for friends to play with is the best thing. A lot of announcements.
Yeah, it was a heavy week, and we haven't even gotten to everything that's happened this week. There was like the whole Spider-Man announcement thing where it's looking like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and like
everybody on this planet.
Say that like Alfred Molina might be coming back as well as Doc Ock. And
then they also mentioned that Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy is coming back.
Yep. And then Kirsten Dunst might be coming back as well, and it's just like wow, okay, this is nuts.
Guys, it's getting a little much.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be balanced because that's one of the struggles that they've always done with these Spider-Man movies. It's like when they get to the third one for Spider-Man 3, and then when they did Amazing Spider-Man 2, they always cram these movies way too full with all these different villains and characters and stuff, and it just becomes overboard. And it makes the story suffer because of that. So hopefully that's not going to be the case with this movie. I hope not, because I do want the core of the movie. If Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be involved, I do want it to be about those 3 Spider-Man characters. Like, that would be great. That would be awesome. So hopefully that'll be the case. So we'll see what happens. Maybe most of them will be just kind of like cameo type of appearances and stuff. So hopefully, I'm excited because this is something that this is like the one Marvel movie that I've been wanting to see happen for a long time, is seeing a crossover with all 3 of the Spider-Mans, which would be fantastic. So
yeah,
if it happens, I'm hyped. And it'll definitely be probably my most hyped of all of the Marvel movies that's going to be coming in the future. So
For sure.
with that being said, that's about it for this week, everyone. We hope you guys enjoyed. We do want to hear what your opinions are on everything, because there's a lot of opinions that can be thrown around about this stuff that happened this week. So
Oh yeah.
feel free to let us know in the comments or whatever else. Wherever you're watching this, if you guys would please leave a review, we'd appreciate that. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, leave a like and all that stuff, subscribe. And with that being said, we will catch you all next week with some spicy Cold War Call of Duty news. With that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's good to have you back, Ben.